Bruce Lee is standing in the corner of a crowded Hollywood party when the tallest man in the room walks over and says something that makes everyone go quiet. What happens in the next 60 seconds doesn't just answer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's question. It changes how the 7'2" basketball star understands power for the rest of his life. Los Angeles. A spring evening. The year doesn't matter as much as what happens this night. The party is at a producer's mansion in the Hollywood Hills, one of those sprawling estates with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city lights. White carpet that probably costs more than most people's cars. Modern art on the walls that nobody understands but everyone pretends to appreciate. The party is full of entertainment industry people, actors, directors, producers, writers, athletes who've crossed over into Hollywood, agents making deals in corners, champagne flowing, laughter echoing off high ceilings. Everyone dressed to impress, everyone working the room, everyone trying to be seen by the right people. Bruce Lee doesn't want to be here. He's not a party person, never has been. Doesn't drink, doesn't do small talk, doesn't enjoy the performative nature of Hollywood social events. But his friend dragged him along, said it would be good for his career, said he needs to network, said everyone who matters will be there. So Bruce came, wearing simple clothes, black pants, a dark shirt, no designer labels, no flash, just clean and functional. He finds a quiet corner, stands there, watches the room, the same way he watches everything, observing, processing, reading body language, understanding dynamics. Most people at the party don't know who he is. Some recognize him from the Green Hornet show where he played Kato. A few know his reputation as a martial artist. But to most of these Hollywood people, he's just another small Asian man at a party full of bigger, louder, more important people. He's been here an hour, talked to a few people, answered questions about martial arts, listened to actors tell him they've always wanted to learn kung fu, smiled politely, gave short answers, counted the minutes until he could leave without being rude. Then the room shifts. Everyone's attention turns toward the door. Conversations pause. Heads turn. Someone important just walked in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar enters the room, and the space itself seems to reorganize around him. 7'2" tall. The best basketball player in the world right now. Just finished another dominant season. Averaging 30-plus points a game. Unstoppable. A force of nature on the basketball court. Young, early 20s, already a superstar. He's wearing a stylish suit that had to be custom-made because nothing off the rack fits someone his size. He moves with the easy confidence of someone who's been the biggest person in every room since junior high. Someone who's used to being the center of attention. Someone who commands respect just by existing. People gravitate toward him immediately, congratulating him on the season, asking about the playoffs, trying to get close to greatness. Kareem is gracious but reserved, answers questions, shakes hands. But there's something in his eyes, a searching quality. Like he's looking for something more than celebrity worship. Like he came here for a specific reason. His eyes scan the room. Then they land on Bruce. Bruce sees it happen. Sees Kareem's attention lock onto him. Sees recognition flash across the tall man's face. Sees him excuse himself from his admirers. Sees him start walking across the room, heading directly toward Bruce's corner. Everyone notices. Conversations stop. People watch. Wonder what's about to happen. Why is the biggest basketball star in the world walking toward this small Chinese man in the corner? Kareem reaches Bruce. Has to look down, way down. The height difference is almost comical. Bruce is 5'7". Kareem is 7'2", 19 inches of difference. Kareem could rest his chin on top of Bruce's head. But Bruce doesn't look intimidated. Doesn't look up at Kareem the way most people do, with awe or fear or discomfort. Just looks at him. Eye contact, direct, confident. Kareem speaks first. His voice is deep, measured, intelligent. He says, "I've been wanting to meet you. I've heard stories about what you can do, about your martial arts." Bruce nods, says simply, "Nice to meet you." Kareem continues, "I've been studying martial arts. Started training in karate when I was younger. Still practice when I can. I believe in it. The discipline, the technique, the philosophy. Bruce nods again. Good. Kareem shifts his weight. Says, but I have to be honest. I have a question. Something I've been wondering about. Bruce says, ask. Kareem says, I'm 7'2". I weigh 240 pounds. Most of that is muscle. My reach is 7'5". I can palm a basketball like it's an orange. I'm strong, really strong. I've spent my whole life being the biggest, strongest person wherever I go. Bruce listens, doesn't interrupt. Kareem continues. You're 5'7". What, 135? 140? Bruce says, 135. Kareem nods, says, I respect martial arts. I respect technique and speed and precision. But here's my question. In a real situation, if someone my size came at you, someone with my reach, my strength, my weight advantage, could your techniques really work? Or is there a point where size just wins? The question hangs in the air. Everyone nearby is listening now, pretending not to, but obviously paying attention. This is the question. The question that everyone who doesn't understand martial arts asks. The question that assumes physics trumps skill, that mass times velocity equals victory, that bigger always beats smaller. Bruce doesn't get defensive, doesn't argue, just says, you really want to know? Kareem says, yes. That's why I asked. Bruce says, I can show you. Right here. One move, you'll understand. Kareem looks intrigued, says, show me. Bruce says, push me. Use your strength. Try to move me backward. Kareem hesitates, says, I don't want to hurt you. Bruce almost smiles, says, you won't hurt me. Try. Kareem looks around. People are watching. The producer whose house this is steps forward, says, hey guys, maybe we should take this outside. Don't want anything getting broken. They move to the back patio. It's a wide stone terrace overlooking the city. String lights overhead. A few dozen people follow, forming a loose circle. Everyone wants to see this. The small martial artist and the giant basketball player. Technique versus size. Skill versus strength. Someone's going to learn something tonight. The question is who? Bruce and Kareem face each other on the patio. The night air is cool. City lights glitter below. Bruce stands normally, feet shoulder-width apart, hands relaxed at his sides, breathing calm. Kareem towers over him, almost 2 feet taller, more than 100 pounds heavier, arms longer than Bruce's entire body. He looks down at Bruce, says, you're sure about this? Bruce says, push me. Try to move me backward. Use your strength. Kareem places both hands on Bruce's shoulders. His hands are massive, each hand nearly covering Bruce's entire shoulder. His fingers wrap around. His reach is absurd. Bruce looks tiny under those hands, looks like a child compared to this giant. Kareem says, you ready? Bruce says, go ahead. Kareem pushes, not hard, not trying to hurt Bruce, just testing, using maybe 20% of his strength. Bruce doesn't move, doesn't slide backward, doesn't budge, just stands there, solid, immovable. Kareem looks surprised, pushes harder, 50% now, real force behind it, the kind of force that moves people, the kind of force that has pushed through double teams and powered through defenders and dominated the paint for years. Bruce still doesn't move, doesn't strain, doesn't grimace, just stands there, breathing normally, completely stable, like he's rooted to the earth, like Kareem is pushing against a stone pillar. Kareem's surprise turns to determination. He sets his feet, uses his legs, pushes with everything he has. 240 pounds of muscle and leverage and strength. The kind of force that should absolutely move a 135-pound man backward. Bruce doesn't move. Not an inch. Not even a slight slide. Just stands there. Solid. The people watching are stunned. This doesn't make sense. Physics doesn't work this way. A giant should be able to move someone Bruce's size. should be able to push him across the patio. But Bruce isn't moving. Kareem steps back, breathing a bit harder, looks at his hands, looks at Bruce, says, "How?" Bruce says, "Your turn." Kareem says, "What?" Bruce says, "Don't resist. Just stand normally." Kareem stands. Bruce steps forward, reaches up, places one hand, just one hand, his right hand, palm flat, against Kareem's chest, right over his sternum. Bruce's hand looks tiny against Kareem's massive chest, his arm fully extended upward just to reach. He looks up at Kareem, says, "Ready?" Kareem nods, uncertain now. Bruce's hand moves, not backward to wind up, not pulling back for momentum, just suddenly drives forward. An explosion of force from his legs, through his hips, through his core, through his shoulder, exiting through his palm. 1 inch of movement. That's it. 1 inch of travel distance. But the force is enormous, concentrated, precise. All of Bruce's body weight and structure and timing compressed into a single point of contact. The sound is like a drum, sharp, hollow. Kareem's eyes go wide. His entire body moves backward. Not just a step. His feet leave the ground. Actually, leave the ground. He travels backward through the air. 3 feet, 4 feet. Lands hard. Stumbles. Catches himself on a patio chair. Doesn't fall, but almost does. His chest feels like he got hit by a basketball flying at full speed. All the air knocked out of his lungs. His sternum aching. Not injured, but definitely feeling it. He straightens slowly, hand on his chest, trying to breathe normally, trying to process what just happened. Bruce is standing exactly where he was. Hand still extended, didn't follow through, didn't chase, just delivered 1 strike and stopped. The patio is silent. Nobody speaks. Nobody moves. They just witnessed something impossible. A 135-pound man just launched a 7'2", 240-pound man backward through the air, with one hand, with 1 inch of movement. Kareem walks back to Bruce. His respect is visible, total, complete. He says, "That's not possible." Bruce says, "You just felt it." Kareem says, "How?" "I'm twice your size." Bruce says, "You're thinking about push like moving furniture, using your muscles to generate force against resistance. That's not how I push. I don't push with my arms. I push with my whole body. My arms are just the delivery system. The power comes from the ground, travels up through my legs, my hips, my spine, my shoulder, and exits through my hand. Everything moves together, synchronized, timed perfectly. All my body weight and structure compressed into a single moment of contact. That's not strength. That's structure. That's timing. That's understanding how bodies work. Kareem is listening, really listening, processing, learning." Bruce continues, "When you pushed me, you used your arms, your upper body, strong arms. But I rooted to the ground, sank my weight down. Let the force travel through me into the earth. You were pushing against the planet. When I pushed you, I used everything. You were standing normal, weight distributed evenly, no root, no structure. So when the force hit you, your body had nowhere to send it. It absorbed it, moved you." Kareem nods slowly, says, "Teach me." Bruce says, "What?" Kareem says, "Teach me what you know." "I thought I understood martial arts. I've been training for years, but what you just did, that's something else. That's what I've been looking for. Something real, something that actually works. Not just theory, not just forms. Real application, real understanding." Bruce studies Kareem for a moment, sees genuine curiosity, genuine respect, genuine willingness to learn. Says, "It will be hard work." Kareem says, "I'm used to hard work." Bruce says, "You'll have to forget some things you've learned." Kareem says, "I'm ready." Bruce says, "Come to my school, next week. We'll start." Kareem does come, the next week, then the next, then the next, for years. Training with Bruce becomes one of the most important things in his life. Bruce teaches him Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. Not a style, a philosophy, a way of moving, a way of thinking, a way of being. Bruce doesn't care that Kareem is 7'2". doesn't modify techniques for his height, teaches him the same principles he teaches everyone: economy of motion, directness, simplicity, using what works and discarding what doesn't. Kareem trains hard, learns to move differently, learns to use his size as an advantage rather than a limitation, learns that being big doesn't mean being slow, learns that reach means nothing if you don't know how to use it, learns that real power comes from understanding, not from muscle. They become friends, real friends, training partners. Bruce appears in a project Kareem is working on. They spend hours talking about martial arts, philosophy, life, purpose, meaning. Bruce teaches Kareem about water. Be like water, shapeless, formless, adapting to any container, any situation. Kareem takes this into his basketball, becomes even more dominant, even more unstoppable. Because now he understands flow, understands adaptation, understands that being rigid makes you breakable, being fluid makes you unbreakable. Years later, people ask Kareem about Bruce, about their training, about their friendship. Kareem always tells the same story: the story of the party, the story of one push, the story of learning that everything he thought he knew about power was wrong. He says Bruce taught him that size is just one variable. Speed is a variable. Strength is a variable. Technique is a variable. Understanding is a variable. Most people only develop one or two variables. They get big, or they get fast, or they get strong. But they don't develop understanding. They don't learn how bodies actually work, how physics actually works, how force actually transfers. Bruce understood all of it, every variable, how they connected, how they multiplied each other, how proper structure could make a small man immovable, how proper technique could make a small man devastating. Kareem says that night on the patio changed his life, not because Bruce embarrassed him. Bruce didn't embarrass him. Bruce taught him, showed him something true, something real, something he needed to see. That moment of being pushed backward through the air by a man half his size, that moment of understanding that his assumptions about power were completely wrong, that moment opened his mind to learning, to growth, to becoming something more than just big and strong and athletic, to becoming skilled, understanding, effective. The friendship lasts, through decades, through challenges, through changes. Bruce teaches, Kareem learns. They push each other, support each other, respect each other. Two masters in different fields, learning from each other, growing together. That's what one move created. Not just a demonstration, not just a lesson, a friendship, a partnership, a legacy. Bruce showed Kareem that real power isn't about size. Real power is about understanding, about structure, about timing, about bringing everything together in one moment of perfect execution. Who have you assumed couldn't teach you anything because they're smaller, younger, different from you? What if the person you dismissed has exactly what you need to learn? What if your assumptions about power, about strength, about capability are completely wrong? Because it only takes one moment, one move, one demonstration of truth to change everything you thought you knew. Bruce gave Kareem that moment, that move, that truth, and it changed both of their lives, not because Bruce proved he was better, because Bruce proved there was something to learn, something real, something worth pursuing. That's real power, not dominating someone, elevating them, not proving them wrong, showing them truth, not winning, teaching. The party ended that night, but the lesson continued for decades, still continues today. Every time someone assumes size equals power, every time someone thinks being big means being strong, every time someone underestimates technique and understanding and skill, the story gets told again, the lesson gets taught again. One move, 60 seconds, a lifetime of growth. That's what Bruce Lee gave to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and through Kareem gave to all of us.